I never imagined my life could unravel so quietly, yet so completely. My wife Clara and I had been married for 15 years. We shared a home, 2 children, and a life that on the surface looked stable, comfortable, and even enviable. I worked hard, provided for the family, and trusted her completely. I never expected betrayal from the person I had chosen to build a life with. It started with subtle changes: Clara becoming secretive about finances, her late-night texts, and a sudden interest in home renovations that didn't involve me. I dismissed it initially, telling myself I was being paranoid, but one evening I discovered the truth in the most humiliating way. While reviewing some mail, I found a series of documents that shocked me: eviction notices, forged signatures, and legal forms indicating that Clara and a man she had been seeing were attempting to evict me from the house I had helped pay for, the home I had poured my heart and soul into maintaining. My hands shook as I read each line. This wasn't just an affair, it was a plot to erase me entirely from the life I had built. I confronted her quietly at first, in the living room, with the eviction papers spread before her. "Clara, what is this?" My voice was calm, but inside fury roared. Her initial reaction was shock, then defensiveness. "It's nothing. Just paperwork for renovations. You don't need to worry." I saw through the lie immediately. I had spent years trusting her, only to find that she had been planning my displacement with another man, someone I had once considered a friend. The betrayal cut deeper than any words could describe. I could have reacted with anger. I could have shouted, destroyed property, or publicly humiliated them. But I realized something crucial. The most effective revenge is silent, methodical, and leaves the betrayers powerless while preserving your own dignity. First, I secured the legal documents I needed. I contacted the lawyer who handled our property, ensuring that every attempted signature, every forged document was invalidated. I quietly monitored their interactions, gathering evidence of their meetings, secret phone calls, and financial manipulations. Every move they made I documented, then I implemented my plan. I let Clara and her lover continue believing they were in control. They spoke openly about plans, laughed behind my back, and made assumptions about my ignorance. But I knew everything, and every action they took further incriminated themselves. I never confronted them publicly. I didn't need to. Silence became my weapon. Instead, I let the legal system work for me. When they finally submitted official paperwork to evict me, the evidence I had meticulously gathered was presented. The court recognized the forgery, the conspiracy, and the malicious intent. Clara and her lover were humiliated, and their plans completely failed. But the revenge didn't stop there. I ensured that the property remained under my control, that Clara had restricted access, and that the lover had no legal standing. I quietly enforced boundaries, letting them realize day by day that their betrayal had consequences they could neither avoid nor escape. Meanwhile, I focused on restoring balance to my life. I reconnected with friends, strengthened my relationship with my children, and rebuilt my personal space within the home I had fought to protect. Every time Clara and her lover tried to assert dominance or intimidate me, they encountered calm, controlled resistance, my silent revenge manifesting in the form of unshakable composure and legal authority. Months later, I watched as Clara's social standing diminished. Friends who had supported her began questioning her judgment. Her lover, desperate and exposed, disappeared from our lives entirely. And I had reclaimed not just my home, but my peace, dignity, and authority. The lesson was stark, but empowering. Betrayal can strike in silence, but so can revenge. It doesn't always require confrontation, shouting, or destruction. Sometimes it requires patience, strategy, and the quiet confidence that truth and preparation will ensure justice. In the end, I didn't just survive betrayal. I thrived in spite of it. Clara and her lover had tried to erase me, but my silent, deliberate response restored balance, ensured accountability, and proved that when wronged, the calm, calculated path can be far more devastating than any outburst. I learned that day that power is not always loud. Sometimes it's silent, and when executed correctly, it's unstoppable.